Here are a few applications of inequalities. The first one has to do with grades. So if Beth received grades of 97, 82, 89, and 99 on her first 4 algebra tests, to earn an A in the course, she wants an average of 90 or more. So what we need to do is we need to create an inequality that will help us to solve for what score can she get on her 5th test to earn an A. So we know that if she's trying to find the average of her scores, that she's going to take all of her scores plus x, so the x is that 5th score, all divided by 5. So if I take the sum of my scores divided by 5 scores, that gives me an average. I need that to be 90 or more. So that average needs to be greater than or equal to 90. So that's an inequality. Notice I didn't put an equal sign because there's not just one score she could earn. It's going to be any value that's greater than whatever we come up with. Next, of course, I'm going to combine these values together, which gives me 367 plus x, all divided by 5 is greater than or equal to 90. Of course, we hate dealing with fractions, so I'm going to multiply by 5 on each side. Multiplying by 5 on the left side gets rid of the fraction, which is what I wanted to have happen. On the right side, whoops, I forgot my 0. If I take 5 times 90, I get 450. So now 367 plus whatever my last score is has to be greater than or equal to 450. If I subtract 367, I end up with 83. Now the question says, what scores can she receive on the 5th test? If she got an 83, she gets her A, but she could also get a 90 or a 94 or a 97, anything that's greater than or equal to 83. So that means she could earn anywhere, say, from 83 up to 100, assuming that there is no extra credit. Or you would just write a sentence that said, Beth must earn at least an 83% to get an A. Here's another question dealing with inequalities. So in this one, they're actually nice, and they actually gave us the formula that tells the water level, L, in feet, given by that function where D is the number of days after a drought begins. So in this case, it says, for which days after the beginning of the drought will the water level be less than 6 feet? So if this is the water level, that has to be less than 6 feet. So less than 6 feet. So from here, I'm just going to solve by subtracting 7.2 from each side, and then dividing by negative 0.05. Remember, when I divided by a negative, that inequality flipped around, and I end up with 24. So what does that tell me? It says, for which days after the beginning of the drought will the water level be less than 6 feet? So basically every day past the 24th day. So not on the 24th day, but from then on out is essentially my answer. Here's another question. It says Jared is trying to save between 10,000 and 15,000. So this between tells me a lot, because I know when I was dealing with those inequalities before, that means I'm going to have some value, and then is less than or equal to something is less than or equal to some other value. So when you say between, you should be thinking of a compound inequality that looks like this. Now he's trying to save between 10,000 and 15,000. So those are those two values. And notice it says inclusive, and that's why I included the or equal to, meaning he could have exactly 10,000 or exactly 15,000. He currently has 5,000 in savings, and he is adding $500 per month. So I'm going to let x equal the number of months. So if I take 500 times x, I add that to 5,000, that's what's going to give me the total in his savings account. To solve this, then, of course, I will subtract 5,000. That gives me 5,000 is less than or equal to 500x is less than or equal to 10,000. What that tells us is that if we take the 5,000 away, that we know the money that he puts in per month has to be between 5,000 and 10,000. Dividing by 500 in all three positions. Here, notice These would cancel. This is really 50 divided by 5, which is 10, is less than or equal to x. Again, I now have 100 divided by 5, which is 20. So that means it will take Jared between 10 and 20 months if he's saving 500 per month. So between, a little bit less than a year to a little bit less than 2 years. Here's one question for you to try on your own, again dealing with your grade. So you want to earn a C in your MA 102 course. Your current test scores are 67, 72, 81, 75. Your final exam is worth 3 test scores. So this one's a little bit different because it's weighted differently. So whatever I get on that test, I need to take it times 3. And total then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tests. So there's 4 tests plus 3 times another. So really that's divided by 7. To earn a C, I have to lie between 70 and 79. So 70 is less than or equal to all of that is less than or equal to 79. Again, I was looking for that between that told me that this is the kind of situation I was going to be dealing with. Let's go ahead and multiply everything by 7 so that I don't have a fraction in the middle. That gives me 490 on the left. On the right side, when I multiply by 7, I get 553. In the middle, I'm going to also, on this step, I'm going to combine all of that business together, which gives me 295 plus 3x. So I've gotten rid of the 7 by multiplying everything by 7, and I combined those 4 values in the middle. I'm, of course, now going to subtract 295 from all 3 places, which leaves me with 195 is less than or equal to 3x is less than or equal to 258. So what that's telling me is that when I take my score times 3, it's going to be between those 2 values. Of course, to find my actual score, I have to divide by 3, so let's do that in all 3 places as well. So if I divide by 3, I get 65 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 86. So that tells me that on the final, I can earn a 65 up to an 86 and still get the C that I want in MA 102. Now what would happen if I did better than an 86? Well, then I get a B or a B minus instead.